From Granatell Stadium in Ramsey, New Jersey, Don Bosco Prep High School, I welcome you here up Route 17 North. We got a top 5 matchup on our hands between two of the best teams in the state. St. Augustine Prep, number 5 in New Jersey, out of Richland, New Jersey, South Jersey. They made just over a 2.5-hour drive north here to Ramsey to take on Don Bosco Prep, number 2 in the Garden State, a record of 12-4. As for St. Augustine, a record of 13-2. As we've got a goal, number 23 in white, that's Ryan Woodzak. It's his second here of the late morning, and that gives St. Augustine a 2-1 lead here with 4:26 left in quarter number 1. And then a loss in mid-April right here at Granatell to Fairfield Prep, one of the top teams in Connecticut. Skip pass across. Fine stick of Ryan Diamond to the junior. Here's Woodzak, teed one up from about 15 yards away. A great save by O'Hara. Tally the 4th for the senior as Bosco plays it across midfield into the stick of John Dever, 9 in black. Has the goal as we get into the afternoon. Just going to go with the afternoon. Here's Scaletti. Inside 10 seconds. Jump shot with his right hand, and he beats Zeitz. The 6'3 senior captain Scaletti, his 49th goal here in 2025. To Halesworth along our near hash at midfield. 4 minutes through quarter number 2. We're all tied up at 2 between two top 5 teams here in the Garden State. Don Bosco Prep, number 2. St. Augustine Prep, number 5 in New Jersey. Shot from the outside. It was John Dever. Right hand free from about 12, 13 yards away. Dever, the Yale commit, nets his second goal of the afternoon. 26th overall here in 2025. Gives Don Bosco Prep a 3-2 lead. And now swung around to the far hash. Good off-ball movement. Here's Koo for Dever. Scaletti. Fake the pass to his right. Now, nice skip pass inside, and it finds Hessen Halesworth, the sophomore, for his first goal of the afternoon with 30 seconds left to play in our first half. The sophomore Halesworth, his 7th goal here in 2025. 7th goal of his varsity career. Gives Bosco a 5-2 advantage, again, in our closing stages of our first half. Played to Ryan Diamond, the junior, as he'll initiate, matched up with Murphy from the point, shoulder to shoulder. Murphy almost pushed off his feet for Woodzak. One more into the stick and out of the stick of Jack Hendricks. Ball on the turf and scooped up by Bosco. It's Bossalina, 11 in black across midfield. Finds Scaletti. Here's Scaletti taking his defender one-on-one. Stick still in his left hand, and the senior nets the hat trick. As Scaletti, his 51st goal here in 2025, bulldozing his way through white jerseys, keeping the stick in his left hand, and he buries it for Bosco's 6th goal of the afternoon as we're just over 3 minutes through our third quarter. A 6-2 lead for the Ironmen. Quick fast break. On the face-off win, it's Chris Marino doing it all himself on the face-off win. And just like that, a 6-4 lacrosse game. As St. Augustine Prep chipping away at the Bosco lead. For Marino, his 2nd goal, 5th point here in 2025. 14 of 15 on Tuesday night in the win over Westfield. Very impressive, as he's been just at about 50% in each game this season. Asked head coach J.C. Valori in advance of this afternoon down on the field before we got going, what's the plan to slow down Conti? I mean, one of the best face-off men, not just this season, over the past few years in New Jersey. We've seen a couple double pulls on the wings, but Valori told me it will be Chris Marino because of that. He'll win one here and there and bust it down the field and put one in the back of the net. 6-4 Bosco lead as we hit the 7-minute mark here in quarter number 3. Bosco possession as they look to retake that 3-goal lead. Scaletti being locked off by Jack Gunaris, the senior defender, number 3 in white, was along our near sideline. Scaletti will now head behind, goal line extended. Bosco will be content with playing a little 5-on-5 lacrosse here. It'll be Scaletti from the near low corner. He's matched up with Jack Gunaris, the senior. Pass found Jason Koo as he was making his way north of goal line extended along our near hash. Got a right jump shot off. It skipped wide of the cage. Scaletti back there along the end line with the backup. Matched up with Gunaris. Scaletti will take a pick from, that was Koo. Switched off for the moment, but a quick slide there. Coming in was 32 in white, Zach Bader, the junior. St. Augustine Prep defensively knowing the importance of getting a long stick on Brady Scaletti quickly. As Dever, a skip pass across. Halesworth, the sophomore, bobbled it, but able to come up with the loose ball. A spin move on his defender. Looking for a pass inside. He'll curl it back towards the far numbers. Here's Dever. A spin move along the far hash at the 25-yard line of the football field. Pass here to the point. Kushner for Jason Koo. And originally was working east-west. Stick in his right hand. Puts it back in his left hand. And tattoos that upper high corner up over the off-stick side of goalie Kyle Helfenstein, number 4 in white, who checks in for the Hermits. What a shot there from the junior Koo, his 10th goal here in 2025 as he was working to his right. And, if, you know, St. Augustine Prep doing their homework. He is their main initiator, working to his right along the 25-yard line or so. A quick foot in the ground, cuts it back to his left, and a bit of a skip or two into the upper far corner, up over the left shoulder of Helfenstein, who slips down to the turf, covered closely. Acevedo is by Murphy. However, Acevedo able to get a step on his defender, but a nice save by James O'Hara keeps our score at 7-4. As we hit the minute 30 mark. No change of planes. O'Hara able to match that shot easy. As Jason Koo pass across midfield for Jack Murphy into the stick of John Dever. And a possible unsettled situation here for Bosco. Dever will instead opt to play it to the near numbers. Jason Koo will begin walking it in from those near numbers. Dangerous pass for Brady Kushner. However, Kushner able to handle it. Some man ball action in the middle of the field. St. Augustine Prep kicks it across midfield. And a nice ground ball by McGarrigle, the freshman, 41 in white. Able to play it quickly forward is the Hermits. But a nice save by James O'Hara. Ball kicks its way all the way to our near sideline and out of play. And our possession awarded to Bosco with 50 seconds left to play in our third quarter. Quickly, Bosco into the middle of the field as they look to clear across midfield. Brady Kushner, one man clear, will do just that. However, he is in trouble. Aimless pass trying to find Dash Lane. And now St. Augustine Prep defender across midfield. It was 11 in white. That is Nicholas Moores. And then it was Brady Kushner, 20 in black, who lost his stick, then played without it as he gave Moores a shoulder at midfield, drew the whistle, and a quick restart here for St. Augustine Prep. As we're inside now, 20 seconds here in our third quarter. Hermits need to work quickly here as it's Woodzak from our near numbers. He'll play it for Ryan Diamond, the junior, in the middle of the field. And now the sophomore, Jack Hendricks from the point. Inside 10 seconds, already inside 5 seconds. Pass finds its way to Brayson Thurber, the sophomore, sneaks it in along O'Hara's near side pipe just to his left. 6/10 of a second left on our third quarter game clock as Brayson Thurber, the sophomore, nets his first goal of the afternoon. It'll be Halesworth, the sophomore. A goal in the Bergen County final versus Bergen Catholic. 2 goals on Thursday night versus Chatham for Dash Lane, 2 in black. Kushner, 20. Made a cut from the near hash to the far hash. Here's Kushner again. Great ball movement. He rattles one off the crossbar. As Kushner came from the far hash, cut through to the near hash, and just kept moving. Went all the way around the crease, behind goal line, extended, and then curled north of GLE. Received the pass, quick shot, and bounces that one up and off the crossbar. Scaletti to initiate from the far corner, and his pass trying to find, believe that was Jason Koo, off Koo's stick, and recovered by St. Augustine Prep. And the Hermits, starting with goalie Kyle Helfenstein, will clear north of midfield, and a timeout taken by the St. Augustine Prep sideline. Again, both teams, I believe, only awarded one timeout here in overtime, so they've both now burned each of their only timeouts. Buck 14 left to play in our second overtime period. What a game it's been. Low scoring, but some great saves on each end by James O'Hara, the senior. Heading to Siena has been spectacular. For St. Augustine Prep, Ben Zeitz heading to Elizabethtown next season. Had a very strong first half. Kyle Helfenstein, the junior, has been stellar here in half number 2. He's only allowed one goal. Or excuse me, he's allowed 2 goals here in half number 2. And obviously that spills over into our almost 2 full overtime periods. We're inside now 12 seconds. St. Augustine Prep will now start to spin the ball around. Inside 6 seconds. Here's Woodzak. Spin to get the stick back in his right hand, and his shot saved by James O'Hara. And the buzzer will sound to end our second overtime period. Our score still 7-7. As St. Augustine Prep slow played it for the final minute 15 or so, all the way down to 15 seconds to initiate. And Ryan Woodzak hunting his 4th goal of the afternoon, and the game winner saved by the senior O'Hara. He has been spectacular here this afternoon, and we'll head to a third overtime period. Hendricks 6 in white. The sophomore will initiate from the far sideline, right in front of the Don Bosco bench. Hendricks matched up with 26 in black Murphy. Hendricks down the left alley. Along the far hash, will play it for Thurber, 15 in white. And then swung back to our near sideline for Diamond, and behind for Rauchi. Both of these two teams just spin the ball around the perimeter so well. It's like watching a college lacrosse game. As trying to muscle his way in is Ryan Diamond, and he tattoos the far high corner, stick side high of James O'Hara. The Bosco defense left dumbfounded as St. Augustine Prep walks this one off with a $1.09 left in overtime, our third overtime period, and a 7 win for St. Augustine Prep.